Happy New Year 2026, and we are in transfer portal season. It started today, and a whole bunch of names have been thrown around for the Florida State quarterback position. AB, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How is the transfer portal treating you?
Happy 2026 to everybody. First off, obviously, hope everybody had a very happy holidays, Christmas, Kwanzaa, uh, Hanukkah, all the likes. It's great being back with everybody in 2026. New year, new me, new Florida State Seminoles. Hopefully,
It's looking that way.
it was a very busy day today. Clearly, if you were on Noles 24/7 or any of the other places that you get your Florida State news, you would have noticed a lot of names coming and going. There was a lot of question marks going into today. What was the quarterback board looking like? We've obviously done a video already on Colton Joseph. Anthony Clandria's name drops today. DJ Lagway's names drops today. Ashton Daniels' name drops today. There's just names flying all over the place for the quarterback board. So it seemed like only proper for us to jump on here and maybe have a little debate, because Kev and I were yelling at one another via text earlier today. If you can yell through text messages, Kev was very mad at me.
Me and AB have different feelings on quarterbacks a lot of times, and so we figured that was the catalyst to starting this up, because it feels like the biggest question mark for Florida State next year. Who's their quarterback? And as soon as DJ Lagway became a name that was out there, both me and him had opposite opinions. But we're gonna hold off on the DJ Lagway talk till the end, and we're gonna start by kind of reviewing Colton Joseph, who's still a name that's being circulating around Florida State. There's some conversation between the two parties, and we watched some of his film in a previous video. So if you want to check that out, you could go back. But what were your takeaways from the film? How do you feel about that potential take?
We thought he was a fit from the running and RPO aspect of things. Was a decent player. Wasn't somebody that I was necessarily blown away by, and I think I made that quite clear in the video and then on the Noles 24/7 message boards. It made sense to me. It made sense that that's a guy Gus would target and go after and want to build his offense around as a runner, because Gus wants to be run his quarterback. He wants to throw RPOs. It seems like maybe he's going to be headed to Wisconsin. I know he was visiting there. There seems to be some optimism amongst the Wisconsin fan base that he's going to end up there. I say good luck in Wisconsin, because I'm okay with that. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I think I liked him a little bit better. I think he's got pretty good wheels. I think he's the only 1,000-yard rusher that we're looking at, that FSU was looking at from this past season. But he did play, at Old Dominion. He played lesser competition. I liked his fit in Gus Malzahn's system. I think he can run RPOs well. But I do think that you're going to run into a lot of the similar problems that you saw with kind of how Tommy ran his offense this year. You're going to be kind of limited towards deep middle of the field. I think he had a tendency in pure drop back situations to lose his footing and lose his footwork. And you saw kind of ball sail on him in the middle of the field. That's a recipe to lose big football games. I think he was talented, but he didn't stand out to any of us as someone that, this is someone that you're going to put behind center at Florida State and go win something, go compete for an ACC championship. I think he seemed more of this is a guy that you take because you're trying to win 8-9 games, because he fits your system and he's talented enough to run your system and win some football games. But he's not going to be a splash.
Yeah, I think the conversation maybe starts there for us. So, like, what is the goal of getting a quarterback this year? Is it to, and I think this is something that maybe we can talk about, but we're obviously not going to have these answers. And I know that if Mike Norvell was here with us right now, that he would say, I'm trying to win championships and all those things. And I don't know. Obviously, he wants to win. I don't know if his first goal right now, building a roster, is to win a championship. I think it's probably to his first goal, if you gave him true serum, was probably to save his job and the jobs of those around him. So, it's difficult having these conversations because of the situation that they're in. So if you were picking a quarterback, Kev, what's the thing that you'd be looking for, knowing what your offense is looking like with Gus and now Tim Harris as the co-offensive coordinator, with those two leading the offense? What would you be building with?
I mean, I think the ideal Gus Malzahn quarterback is had retired from the NFL. His name's Cam Newton, right? So you want someone who's incredibly mobile, not just someone who can kind of run it. I think the ideal Gus Malzahn quarterback is mobile, and that's the first thing you think about is him running the football. Nick Marshall,
Yeah.
I would sacrifice a little bit of kind of intermediate accuracy for a stronger arm, someone that can push the ball downfield. And so you're looking at I think you're looking at someone that needs to run for 1,000 yards for you to have a top 15 offense. And so if I'm trying to win a national championship and I'm Florida State and Gus Malzahn's my offensive coordinator, my first question is, can they run for 1,000 yards?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I know if I was the person in charge looking, I've swayed more from I need a super effective runner. So I think I need a more efficient runner and a more efficient passer. Like, I think that, Gus's that offense is started to work its way into like almost more like the Bryles system with,
it has.
Really wide passing set or really wide formation sets or really wide alignments and inside zone. And they want to run inside zone. And that's really what they want to be from a run game perspective. And with that, some quarterback run stuff, but not as much as I think you would have seen years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they certainly ran Tommy some this past year, but the Tommy run game really came off of drop back stuff more than anything. It was 1-2, if it's not there, take off and go get yards. So I think I'm leaning more towards, I want to find a quarterback who is going to be efficient as a runner in the drop back game, a guy that can go get me 5, stay ahead of the chains. Obviously, if he can go get me 80, that's great. But a guy that's going to get me 5 and stay ahead of the chains, and then a quarterback who's going to be able to get the ball out on your RPO glance routes, be accurate down the field on go balls, and then maybe a guy who just the efficiency. I just need more efficiency in the passing game too. I'm really, really, really looking for efficiency this year at quarterback. I think that's what they need. And I'm operating under the mindset that they need a quarterback who's going to go win them 8-9 games this year. Like, you just can't, we can't be thinking super duper ceiling right now. I think you've got to be thinking really solid floor and really safe floor. So that's where the efficiency and stuff comes into mind for me.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting because I think that actually doesn't map on to like the quarterbacks that we favored, the two of us, what our answers just there were.
You don't know who I favor. I think you think I'm favoring one, but I've never said that. That's
no, I want to believe what you're saying. I do think that, like, ultimately, if you want to win a lot of college football, look at what Indiana's doing right now.
Yeah.
Look at what Mendoza's doing. I mean, go watch the NFL game that's on currently with Darnold and Purdy. Like, these are guys that are efficient, effective. They get the ball out on time. They have anticipation. They make the right reads. They don't have to do anything flashy, and they win a lot of football games.
I hate Carson Beck, but did you watch Carson Beck against Ohio State?
Do what he needed to do.
It was step up in the pocket, go get me 5 yards. Step up in the pocket, go get me 8 yards, over and over and over again. Get the ball out in the flat to Tony. Get the ball vertical. I mean, it's just so you watch Ohio State or you watch Miami, and I hate to give them credit, but obviously it's deserved. And you watch Indiana, these are the same offenses. It is small, efficient plays here and there, and then a quarterback who just keeps it ahead of the chains all the time with a good offensive line in front of him. This is the way that football is trending and has trended, and it's time to catch back up to that.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing about Tommy is that when he was effective, when he was efficient, when he was making those RPOs, when he was checking it down on time, when he was hitting his quick reads, the offense was really good. It was one of the best in the country, but he would go games, halves without doing that, where he would miss a crucial 3rd and 4. We're like, go watch Mendoza. He's not missing 3rd and 4. He's going to hit 3rd and 4 9 times out of 10. You're going to move the ball. Like hitting that like small difference in accuracy, that small difference in efficiency makes a big difference. So without further ado, let's start talking about some of the other names. Anthony Clandria. Tell me about this kid while I pull up his film. I think I've lost you for a second here, AB. Yeah, your microphone's not working. So
how about now?
Now it's on.
Okay, I don't know what the heck happened. Yeah, so Anthony Clandria spent 2 years at Virginia, started 19 games there between his freshman and sophomore year, and then this past year he transferred out to UNLV with Dan Mullen. On the year this year, he was a 65% thrower, really 66%, 65.9. Threw for 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, threw 9 interceptions. Interceptions have been a thing for him.
At Virginia, especially.
Yeah, he threw nine as a true freshman on 24 or 240 attempts, and then threw 11 in his sophomore year on 320 attempts. This year, 9 on 417 attempts. So the percentage is a little bit better, but still, I mean, you're talking about a player who puts the ball in harm's way, and that's, we're talking about a really safe floor. That's something you've got to be thinking about, right? I mean, you got to be concerned about. So maybe not the runner you would be thinking about with a Tommy or a DJ Lagway. I think, not that I think DJ's a runner, but he will run. He's willing to run. I mean, we were looking at some of the game logs from this past year. He had a game with 66 yards and 12 carries, game with, a lot of games in like the 20s on a handful of carries. So I think his game is going to be more throwing the football with some, here you go. You got the tape on.
Yeah. So that's my big question about Clandria, because he has talent. He's a little bit of a gamer type, which I tend to favor those types of quarterbacks, the guys that just kind of get it done. They're effective. They're going to put their body on the line on a 3rd and short. But
people are saying he's short. What is his height profile?
He didn't blow me away at Virginia, if I'm honest.
No, he turned the ball over so much.
But yeah, this is what you're looking at. A guy mobile enough to get this first down on a sprint out. Another question is like, is this the kind of, did he improve because he was under Dan Mullen, right? Dan Mullen's one of the best offensive minds in the game, and I don't think anybody would argue with that. But
Clandria's listed at 6 foot 205. I mean, I'm ready to get to a quarterback that can see over the line of scrimmage consistently, which I'm sure he can. 6 foot is not small. But these offensive lines are getting bigger and taller. People are wanting to build bigger offensive lines. I know Herb Hand is wanting to do the same. Let's watch him here.
Yeah, they're backed up.
Let's get off the goal line here, Dan. Come on. I feel a lot better about this if Dan Mullen was coming with him. I'll just say it's like, it's tough. Like, how much stock do you put in? Okay, you went down a level to UNLV. You went to a guy pretty much known as a quarterback guru at the college level, and suddenly you got a lot better. You're going to leave said guru. You're going to go back up a level to where you were before and struggled. Yeah,
this is the kind of thing that he did this at Virginia too. This is the Clandria thing. I think this is why he went to Virginia, why Dan Mullen liked him. He's a little bit of a gunslinger, right? He's a little bit of this kind of type that's going to roll out, keep his eyes downfield. I think you're looking at like his top end is like a Haynes King kind of quarterback.
Yeah. Which he's won a lot of games at Georgia Tech. I don't like you throwing the ball back in the middle of the field across your body that close into your own end zone. You're just asking for trouble. Nevada's not a very good team. You get away with that, but you're talking about you want to try to beat teams on your schedule, and I know it's just the ACC, and the ACC is not exactly a good league anymore. I still worry about those things, those decisions. Your third year in college football, you've played a lot of games.
All right, it's really grainy even from my perspective. It's just
mine too. Pushing it vertically here on a wheel route on the backside.
Yeah, I think he completes it.
Mm-hmm. This is a bit of a throwback. It's a little bit of a trick play. Wouldn't call that an elite arm by any stretch of the imagination. You don't give him any run after the catch opportunity.
No, but okay. So when you talk about the pros of Clandria, because I think you can look at his stats, you can say, okay, he wasn't very good at Virginia. He had a lot of turnovers. He runs for a decent amount, but he's not blowing you away with his speed and athleticism. It's this kind of play.
Yeah.
This kind of play action.
Yeah, I can get out on the edge and be off platform throw. I can get out on the edge and be a run pass threat.
Right. So that's right. This looks like Haynes King, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of mold of just a guy that get things done. But is Gus Malzahn is the staff that would be able to rein him in and get him making the right decisions and not putting the ball in harm's way, And
how much of Gus's offense is predicated on that kind of stuff.
Right. It's a lot of RPOs, which we haven't really seen him run at all here.
It's a nice slot fade, but he underthrows it.
Yeah, he's fallen away under slot fade.
It's a lot. I mean, it's just a lot of the same stuff we saw from Colton Joseph, in my opinion. I feel like they're two very similar guys.
Yeah, they are. I think he's a little bit more likely to improv than Joseph.
Yeah. Okay, here's a
quarterback counter.
Yeah. You get a little burst on the backside of this. I mean, that's certainly not a bad run by any stretch of the imagination. Makes a guy miss in the backfield. It's got a little swagger to him.
Yeah, there's something there. I'm not going to say that this guy is going to be a Heisman candidate, but there's something to like, right? He's a ball player. Are we still looking at Colton Joseph?
Yeah. I think they're still talking to him. I think that Wisconsin's probably the favorite to land him right now.
Right. So Clandria, you get why he's in the question. He's mobile enough to kind of run some stuff. You saw that quarterback counter. He's a little bit of a gamer. He's a little bit of a guy that's gonna try to make something happen. Which, I mean, to be honest, isn't that dissimilar from what you saw from Tommy this year. But
right. Is that good enough? I mean, is that the world we're living in? Because I don't know, man.
Yeah, there were some big fish that popped up in the portal window, but it doesn't feel like anybody like those were realistic names for Florida State. So that's Clandria. I think just watching his film, there's a lot of Colton Joseph in there. There's a lot of like, all right, this guy's good enough to maybe help you out and win some football games, but is he going to be a name that elevates the team? So the next name is Ashton Daniels. So tell me about this kid.
Okay, so another former. Well, I guess he wasn't in the ACC last year. He was. So 2-year starter, and maybe played in a couple games or made a couple appearances in his freshman year at Stanford. Was at Stanford. Was a starter at Stanford the last 2 years, and then transferred to Auburn this past season. Played in 4 games. A lot of the same, maybe a little more dynamic of a runner. A guy that he threw 12 interceptions at Stanford last year, but only 2 this year at Auburn, but again, he only played in 4 games. He had a 3-2 touchdown interception ratio, 50-ish, fifth kind of in the ballpark of these guys we're looking at right now with Colton Joseph and Anthony Clandria, kind of in that 56 to 60% completion percentage kind of range. A little bit of a runner. I think he's probably the more dynamic runner of the guys we're going to talk about tonight. I think that's maybe more of his game.
Yeah. I mean, they started the game off with a little bit of quarterback inside zone. So
yeah. Here he's starting against Bama. He's starting against Bama. He started against Tennessee. I can't remember what was the other one we talked about. We were going to potentially look at
Vanderbilt. He had
Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. Yeah, they beat Vanderbilt. I can't remember if they beat him or not, but he played really well against Vandy late in the year. He actually played pretty well against Bama here too.
Oh, interesting. Interesting play design there. They kind of screwed themselves over.
Trying to throw this underneath. So obviously this Ole Miss team was a mess.
Auburn.
Auburn, sorry. Hugh Freeze is gone. They were kind of all over the place, but they had a lot of talent.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a concern.
Yeah.
He's got an RPO here, RPO dig. Sees the safety come in, but he watches feet as he kind of...
He looks scared to death to pull this and throw it.
Drifts away from pressure.
He doesn't get his hips flipped at all. Just very slow, very afraid of getting hit in his mouth.
Yep.
And you really got to flip these hips there, plant those feet, throw the football.
Yeah, because this is big, right? This is a 15-yard completion. This is the thing that wins football games. Mm-hmm. Hitting that consistently, because that's open.
Giving you a lot of empties here.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of
watch him.
Yeah. Oh, protect myself.
Yeah. That's not a good look. Yeah, it leads to an incompletion, right? Stand in there, complete the pass. Come on, give us something.
We know he does eventually. Just maybe here early is a problem. Hold on, run it. Go back, please. Go back on that play. Am I seeing a nose tackle back in coverage here? Yep. Holy mackerel. All right, big fella.
Yeah, it looks pretty good out there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kalen DeBoer, innovative.
All right, we're getting some quarterback counter.
This seems to be where he's most comfortable.
Which is interesting because he's shying away from contact.
Yeah, when he's throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those instincts to not get hit are going to be hard to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go watch Trinidad Chambliss and Gunnar Stockton just get their mouths beaten up as they put up 40 points on good defenses earlier this week, Yeah. Got to be able to stick your face in the fan and complete a pass.
Well, there he kind of stands in there.
Yeah, this was much better. Delivers a ball and the tight end just drops it.
Looks like he drops the arm slot down a little bit.
Yeah, he's got some zip on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude's got some tools.
Yeah, there's some natural tools there. You kind of see why he ended up at Auburn.
There's an RPO.
He gets it out quick. He's got that wrist flick action. Just kind of pops the ball off his hand.
Now he's a fifth-year player, right? This will be
year 4 coming up. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But yeah, I mean,
it just
you'd have him for a year.
Freshman, sophomore, junior years. Freshman, sophomore years at Stanford. Let me double check. Sorry. Running again, making something out of nothing.
I like his athleticism.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This would be year 5 coming up.
What does that read?
You got to think he's looking to be a starter.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him put it in dangerous places quite a bit yet. This is when he's trying. I think the receiver's a little late on his break.
There's been a couple drops.
Yeah.
He's got arm talent, that's for sure.
Again, though, we're just kind of talking about what are your goals? Is this a guy you feel like you're going to be able to rely on week in and week out?
Right. At a certain sense,
stats kind of tell you no, but stats don't tell everything.
Like, I don't know what he sees here. What is he looking at?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like
capped.
Looks like they talked about in film study the look they probably thought they were going to get. He's just throwing based on that, not actually kind of looking at this.
He gets lost. This is where the height conversation gets lost. Is that if you don't have good pocket presence, it doesn't matter if you're 6'3". He finds himself gliding up into a pocket that doesn't exist, and now he's getting pushed back throwing this ball because he just doesn't read the pocket.
Yeah, there's no feel for it at all.
I mean, okay, so here's my question with a guy like this. If you take someone like this, which I don't think would be the end of the world, but Gus would have to recommit to being full Nick Marshall. We're gonna run the ball 40, 50 times a game. Yeah. And I think that's the only way you're gonna win with a kid like this.
Yeah.
Are they willing to do that?
Yeah, I mean
because his offense doesn't look like that.
If you're gonna go throw 40 times with him, what are you doing?
The dude's an athlete. And if you're gonna use him as an athlete, Gus Malzahn used to be able to do that.
He's not a quarterback. He's not he plays quarterback, but he's not a quarterback. Is not what his strength is. Getting back, reading the defense.
And you could say the same thing about Nick Marshall, but
absolutely,
Gus Malzahn doesn't feel like it's been 10 years since Nick Marshall's was 12 years ago, right? How many times has he taken someone like this and just been all right, we're going to run the ball 50 times?
It hasn't happened since then. I mean, I'm not saying he hasn't committed to that style of offense, but I mean, that style of offense is kind of dead. That doesn't really exist anymore.
And I mean, I don't think you have the tight ends to do it either.
No, you certainly don't have the offensive line right now to do it.
Yeah. So, interesting name that kind of popped up. I don't think anybody's really taking it very seriously, but it's something to think about. I think it's a different option. I think Colton Joseph and Anthony Clandria kind of fit a similar mold, and this is a completely different direction. That if it was 2013, I'd be saying this guy would be dangerous in a Gus Malzahn offense, but Haynes King is 6'3", bad comp. Yes. Oh, I forgot that the only thing that matters is quarterback height.
If you're making a good comparison, it has to be physically accurate as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's as good as Haynes King. I'm saying that's kind of the player he is. I think there's several things besides his height that are keeping him from being that good. But yeah, I think we were all. I think we have Tommy Castellanos short quarterback aversion syndrome, and I think people are going to make knee-jerk reactions to not wanting a short quarterback, as if. I mean, him being shorter did impact your offense, right?
Correct.
Especially once he was, not as mobile as he had been, and those things matter, right? But there's a difference between how tall Tommy was and being 6 foot. Tommy was 5'9".
Correct. It's a big difference.
All right, so
here's the big one.
This is the big one. We finally made it. So, DJ Lagway. This is a name that popped up. This is the name that popped up that has gotten everybody talking. And it feels very divided, right? It feels like half of the fan base is all in on DJ Lagway. Half the fan base is, I don't want to see this person wearing a Florida State uniform. There's very few people that are like, DJ Lagway would be a reasonable pick. So tell me your thoughts on DJ Lagway. When you heard this name, what did you come up with?
Well, DJ obviously was the number one quarterback coming out of high school a couple of years ago. Super talented prospect. Well, I mean, really, you could argue the only reason Billy Napier made it to this past season was because of the promise of DJ Lagway and what he thought he could, what they thought they could develop with him. It doesn't sound like things were very smooth at UF with him. Obviously there's all kinds of rumors and whatnot. He's had injuries. Did he have an elbow? Was it an elbow or shoulder? I think it was his elbow at UF that seemed to linger and be a major issue for them. And I almost wonder if maybe the staff didn't want to get it dealt with because they were concerned about their jobs. And, DJ Lagway was their savior, their saving grace. And the only reason they kind of kept their jobs. So I don't know. I mean, he's looked really good at times. He's looked really bad at times. This past year, he had 14 interceptions. That's obviously a problem. He's missed a lot of games in his time with injuries and getting banged up. If they're going to take a quarterback, knowing just based on tools alone, I think this is the guy you got to take. Because, and here's why, because none of the others match what I'm looking for. None of the others are efficient. None of the others are high efficiency guys that you're going to be able to rely on game in, game out, play in, play out to go make plays for you. And I just think based on tools alone, okay, he's got the highest upside as a runner. He's got the highest upside as a thrower. So just based on upside, it makes sense to go take him and try to build your offense around him. My holdup is the fact that he's missed a lot of games, and I really worry about his injuries. How healthy is he? How committed to being a runner is he? Is he one of these guys like an Anthony Richardson at UF a few years ago that didn't want to run the football because he wants to, protect his body for the NFL, or he wants to get that stigma of being a runner off of him? If you aren't willing to run in college as a quarterback anymore, I'm not sure how useful you really are. So there's obviously some red flags, but if we're just talking about just putting pluses and minuses or whatever on paper, this one makes the most sense to me, because when you stack him up against the other guys, in my opinion, the pros just really outweigh the cons. And I know Kev's getting ready to get mad.
No, I'm not going to get mad. I'll say this. The other three we looked at, I would say there's varying degrees of what I think that floor and ceiling gives you. In terms of, I think with Colton Joseph, he's probably the highest floor, lowest ceiling guy. Clandria, a little bit more spread. Ashton Daniels, I think it's even wider spread. Pretty very low floor, but has a ceiling with that athleticism. But DJ Lagway, by far highest ceiling, right? He's someone that, if his tools pan out, he's a really talented kid. But man, I do not see quarterbacks figure out accuracy. Like, I do not see these problems he has.
Completion this year, Kev. I mean, I know completion percentage isn't always accuracy.
It's
Of the guys that we've looked at so far, he's got a season with one of the higher completion percentages.
Yeah, it went up. His passing
But
rate
again, that's
dropped.
not necessarily accuracy. That's just completing the ball.
It's the picks, I guess. So we're gonna watch some of his clips against Tennessee. Did he throw any interceptions in this game?
Against Tennessee, he threw none. We could watch him against Kentucky, where he threw 3, and we could talk about that. Against Tennessee, he actually had a 64% completion percentage, but he only threw for 116 yards. But I would argue that offense as a whole was just an absolute mess. I mean, the Billy Napier offense became a shell of what it was at Louisiana.
Hey, that mess put 40 points on your Seminoles. So.
Well, yeah. Well, don't get me started. Somebody asked me not to be depressed tonight, and I'm trying not to be. I don't know. He's got all the tools. His mechanics are really clean.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious to see why he's throwing so many picks. Because I think we can watch him and glaze him. What game did he throw 3 picks?
Kentucky.
Let's see if I can pull that one up.
And people are asking about like fit. Again, I think the question comes back: is he willing to run?
Yeah, that's the thing. He's an athlete. You see it in his high school tape, but then he runs for like 150 yards on the season.
10 for 40 against Tennessee, 10 for 24 against Georgia, 5 for 27 in this game. So the efficiency as a runner is not necessarily there. And he does throw some head scratcher picks. I mean, I would argue that there's a lot more full reads going on with like Napier's offense than what he would have with Gus.
Yeah.
I mean, we know how simplified the passing game is at Florida State.
Gotta get that ball up.
Yeah, so this is a good example of accuracy. Well, I would say it's kind of a good spot.
Man, just none of these guys hit that box of just like, on 3rd and 4, am I going to trust him to get a first down? You know?
Agreed.
It's a great ball.
There, though. Holy shit.
Yeah, nice little bender right over the middle, right underneath that safety.
And this is something that they sorely missed this year with Tommy's height, Tommy's inability to drive the football in the middle of the field.
He just kind of sidearms a little bit.
Yeah.
But it does just come out of his arm.
He's got hand talent. That's for sure.
Did he complete that ball?
Mm-hmm.
What a dime. Got to catch that.
Folks are seeing Kev change his mind right before your eyes.
No, I still don't want him. Look, maybe if he didn't go to UF. I can't buy Rivals leftovers anymore.
I get it.
Oh, that was a pick. That was dumb. Yeah. Okay. So this one seems like he overestimates his arm talent.
Mm-hmm.
He waits too long on this. And then, yeah, just throws it right to him.
I don't think he sees the underneath guy.
He doesn't.
No, he's seeing the middle safety dropping, and he doesn't see the other kid coming. That's a misread. But again, he's not going to be asked to do that at Florida State. Like those are not reads he's going to be required to make under Gus Malzahn.
I need to know if he's going to run the ball, though. You know?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Because he's not good enough passer to win you a bunch of games.
No. I mean, he's a hell of a lot better thrower than Tommy was, but
yeah.
You're right. Will he go get you the 40 yards? Oh, there you go. What and got you? 4. And then they handed it to him on the sneak.
Yeah, I don't think they were a big RPO team. Maybe some RPO like screens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of play action. Man, kid can make some throws though. That's a dime. Someone coming in his face.
I mean, he was the number one quarterback prospect for a reason.
Oh, that's a throw.
These ball placements are pretty good too.
Yeah, they have been.
It's that pick earlier. Just too many times those things are happening.
Yeah, and they happen in bunches, which is a concern, right?
Yep. Again, he's only a sophomore though. Looks like he up in the wrong way there.
Yeah, he's upset with himself.
Okay, another design run for him. Can we get the stiff arm?
No, he didn't. Right in the corner.
All of his runs seem to want to get outside. Ooh, they're a nice angle route.
I think that is one concern, is that like I actually never felt like the Napier offense was poorly designed. He just didn't operate it very smoothly.
No.
But so far this game, outside of that one throw, he's looked pretty solid.
I'll say too, he seems to understand the tempo with the ball. Like, he didn't throw that Texas route 90 miles an hour. There was some touch on it. So he seems to be able to layer his throws pretty good.
Had a quick release there. Get the ball out fast.
I mean, shit, we know this kid's super talented. Is his head in a place where he's going to go get you yards on the ground? And what are his leadership qualities? I mean,
Yep.
Is he a guy that's going to come in here and lead this ship and be a guy who stands out in front of everything, knowing this is a rebuild? And then is he a guy that's going to not turn a ball over for you?
Right, because that's the thing. You can throw as many dimes as you want on these crossing patterns across the field, but 3 picks are going to lose a game, right? Oh, there's a bad throw. Resets his feet. Yeah, he kind of short arms this. He kind of opens his front side a little early. Doesn't say in there. Where are the rest of the picks? Yeah, I think that's the thing. And like, honestly, if they were to pick up Lagway, if I was part of the staff that was evaluating this guy as a professional, I'd go back to every single pick he's thrown in college and say, why is he throwing these picks? Is this something that can be fixed? Is this because like he's clearly athletic, he's got a great arm, he can make the throws, but yeah, you're going to lose games if you throw 12 picks in a season or whatever it was. How many picks do you throw?
14.
Holy crap, 14.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But you're going to lose games. You're going to lose games if you're a mediocre quarterback. So, I mean, at some point, I think I'd rather lose games being aggressive, throwing the football, than being just because I've got a mediocre ass quarterback. And frankly, that's what I think the rest of these guys are.
Oh, here's a pick.
I think at some point you've got to take a chance on a super talented kid.
Yeah, he just left that high. Let's see if we can see his feet.
I mean, I would love for them to be going after the Sorsby kid or Sam Levitt, but they're
oh
not.
My gosh,
that's terrible.
Yeah, just it feels like
he doesn't step into it and drive it, and then
every sixth throw is just a stinker. But part of the problem is that he's such a good throw of the ball normally that when he throws these stinkers, it's he's trying to do something like thread a needle 40 yards downfield.
Yeah. All right, where are you at after all this? Look, I mean, when we had the conversation earlier, to peek behind the curtain, we were having the conversation earlier where Brendan, was he visiting? Was he not visiting? They had heard this morning he was. Then it kind of sounded like it was off, and then it's back on again. And my thought process at the time, and it wasn't really my thought process, but I made the comment like, landing DJ Lagway feels like a Mike Norvell type of move, in that you go out and get this guy that's going to create all this hype, and maybe it's fake hype, but it's hype nonetheless. We've seen Mike Norvell do it with Usman Chroma. We've seen it time and time again with Mike Norvell, to go out and get a guy to create hype. It wasn't necessarily the move that I was suggesting that I wanted them to do. There are other quarterbacks, again, Sam Levitt, these super talented kids out there that I think, you should go balls to the walls for. But I don't know if they're financially in a position to do that. I don't know. Those are questions I don't have answers for. But of the board that there is right now, DJ Lagway makes the most sense to me. Some people asked some questions, and one of the more popular ones in there was, what would your board look like? So Kev, I'm going to ask you now, of the guys we've looked at, Colton Joseph, DJ Lagway, Anthony Clandria, and Ashton Hampton, what would your 1 to 4 look like?
Yeah, it kind of that was your response when I heard DJ Lagway. My first response was, "Oh my gosh, this is." I mean, no offense to DJ Lagway if you're watching this, but after the DJ Uyunglele thing, it's frankly just embarrassing that Mike Norvell keeps targeting these guys that lose everywhere they go. Like, I don't know, they just aren't winning football games like DJ Uyunglele, and they kind of all have a similar vibe of like athletic potential, but just has never been able to put it together. And then like it just feels like we're running the same story back to get a DJ Lagway as a DJ Uyunglele. Like, there's so many parallels between those two players. They're, athletic profiles, their recruiting ranking out of high school, their first name, the fact that they played at rivals of ours. Like, there's so many similarities there that it just sits on the tongue, kind of gross. Like, this isn't something, like, I don't want to watch this again. I don't want to go through this again. It was a bad situation the first time. People are still commenting on my YouTube videos because I made a lukewarm video about DJU 2 years ago, saying that I loved the guy, and I was honestly probably the biggest critic of DJU in the media, and yet like it wasn't enough. And so yeah, DJ did win at Oregon and Clemson, so he
it might be a Mike Norvell thing.
So I felt like it feels like DJ Lagway is just, it feels derivative. It feels like he's got talent, but I really don't trust the staff to get the talent out of him. And because of that, I would rather take a Colton Joseph. Because of that, I'd rather take someone with a floor. I want someone to show up and hit 65% of his passes on RPOs every game. Like, I don't need you to make fantastic throws. I don't need you to run for 1,000 yards. Run for 300 yards, 400 yards, and hit 65% of the RPOs, and don't throw a bunch of picks. And let's beat the Pitts and the Stanfords on our schedule before we worry about beating the Miami on our schedule. That's how I feel. And I feel like Colton Joseph checks those boxes.
All right. So let me.
But DJ Lagway is the best player. DJ Lagway is the best player.
Let me throw this at you. All right. 173 for 290, 59.7% completion percentage for 2,624 yards, 21 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Hold on. I'm not sure I'm going to get the rushing here for you. Dang it. Okay. With, holy shit, 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's Colton Joseph.
Okay.
50 something percent completion percentage?
59.7% completion.
Oh gosh.
And 21 to 10.
Age.
And hold on, 21 to 10 touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah.
Or, all right, 213 for 337 for 63.2% completion percentage, 2,264 yards, a 16 to 14 touchdown to interception ratio, and 136 yards rushing.
Yeah, it's the lack of rushing yards for Lagway and the interceptions. It's when he misses, he throws picks. It's not. He's a better thrower of the football than Colton Joseph, 100%. Like, if we're gonna have like a skills comp where they just like throw on air like a 7-on-7, I mean I'm taking DJ Lagway 10 times out of 10. But man, he's so good at throwing picks. I don't know what it is. And maybe that's something that changes. I don't know. Let's see. I can't imagine Castellanos threw less picks coming to Florida State.
You mean when he came to Florida State in this offense?
Yeah. Like, does this offense generate less interceptions?
It's tough to say. I mean, Tommy was very well known for putting the ball
his interception rate was the lowest of his 3-year starting career at Florida State, 2.9%.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's very one read. I mean,
so if you can get DJ Lagway to not throw picks, you'll win football games.
You're going to give up some of the rushing, though. I mean, that is very apparent.
Yeah. Yeah. So is DJ Lagway? He's the best thrower of the football that we saw tonight, no question. But can he win a lot of games throwing it?
Can't believe Colton Joseph ran for 1,000 yards. I did not realize he ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah, that's. I think that's why I'm like I had him number on my list, is because he's the best runner, and I can just trust that that's going to create something.
All right, so put him 1 to 4 for you.
Me, it's Joseph, DJ, Clandria, Daniels.
And I think I flipped the top 2. I think it's DJ, then Joseph, then Clandria, then Daniels.
But if I'm honest, you were right. You were right earlier, because when I first reacted to DJ, your first response was, "Have you like watched all of these portal quarterbacks?" And I mean, I hadn't spent that much time watching too much Clandria and Ashton Daniels and whatever. Mm-hmm. So maybe DJ Lagway is he might be your best option.
All right, let's see. We got a couple questions here. We'll answer some questions in the chat. I'm going through the thread. We know do we know Lagway fit isn't great with Gus at the helm, but do you think taking the better overall quarterback prospect would pay dividends? I do think it would, because I do think he fits. Like I think this idea that he doesn't fit is maybe not true. Like, they ran him at UF. He clearly is willing to run some. And I think Gus is going away from running a bunch of zone read. I mean, I think he's going to do some of that. And I'll tell you what encouraged me the most with DJ is, while we didn't see a lot of RPOs, his release, he's got that flick that he can get the ball out quick. It's not a super long, elongated motion. We saw him throwing Texas routes. We saw him throw with touch. That encourages me, even though we haven't seen a ton of RPO throws from him. That encourages me that he can. We saw him change his arm angle. I think we discussed the fit of Lagway and Gus's system, good, bad. Would it limit turnovers? I think we talked about that quite a bit. The best player for Gus's system between Clandria and Lagway, I would say Lagway, personally. Would you agree, Kev? Or disagree?
Yeah. Lagway's just a better player than Clandria.
Best value based on NIL value. Who would you pick and why? So it sounds like Lagway's maybe going to cost you over $2.5 million. Gosh. And it sounds like maybe Clandria's going to cost you less than. Is it worth paying is he that much better than Clandria to worth paying that much extra money?
I would probably say it depends on, what else you can get, obviously. But yeah, if the difference is like a starting left tackle or an elite defensive end or something, then I would take Clandria.
Yeah. I know somebody was asking about other quarterbacks. Any other quarterbacks out there that we haven't talked about, Kev, that you would be that maybe would be at the top of your list?
A name I heard who I haven't watched, but might be a good fit for the system is Michael Van Buren.
Okay. Yeah.
The kid from Mississippi State that went to LSU.
Yeah.
I think he kind of fits the mold. I don't know. I think he played in the bowl game.
Yeah. What are their respective floors and ceilings? I mean, I think DJ Lagway's ceiling is the number 1 overall pick. His floor might be undraftable though, and frankly unplayable.
Yeah, I mean, 14 picks is going to lose you a lot of football games.
Yeah. Clandria, I think his floor's maybe, I don't know. His floor might be unplayable too, based on his time at Virginia. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but his ceiling's not even nowhere near the same.
No, I think Clandria could be a fun player. I think he's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to, a Virginia and like wins a few games they weren't supposed to, and people are all like, "Why did people sleep on this guy in the portal?" Because he's just a little bit of a gamer, and I think that works. And the question is that what you want to? Is that what you want to roll with at a Florida State?
Yeah. You only want him because his name. What are people saying? I'm sorry. My man walked with Papuchas. In fairness, I play with him in a college football 26 dynasty online dynasty. So he asked which quarterback. So in one of these leagues, he is Florida State. And when I tell you, we literally call this man the Riddler. Okay, in this league. So shout out to everybody that's
talking about.
Huh?
So what are we talking about?
I don't know, just giving a little backstory, shouting out my man here. So he plays as Florida State in this league, and he had this player named Brian Ansa, who he took him. He was a gadget wide receiver, and he made him a quarterback. And this dude was like 99 speed, 90 throw pass. It was ridiculous. So he's asking which quarterback on FSU's board has the most Ansa into their game. I had to shout him out because I do enjoy playing against him, and I would say none of the above.
Here's Van Buren. So this guy came in the portal. I haven't heard anything about Florida State being interested in them.
No, yeah.
So there's not necessarily anything here, but
he is in the portal, and he was a highly rated kid coming out.
First throw not encouraging. Runs the ball. He apparently had a pretty decent season at Mississippi State as a true freshman. Oh, I like that. Took a hit.
So while we're watching him, somebody has asked, is this team a quarterback away from being good?
No.
No? You don't think so?
Not until they I think
DJ Lagway has the potential to elevate this team to being good. Now, obviously, you got to get pieces around him. Like, one guy is not going to make it all work, but a great quarterback really covers up a lot of deficiencies.
All right, Van Buren's my number 1. I changed my mind. I like this run.
Yeah, looks good. Why aren't they recruiting him?
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not that impressed by that run. Good run.
Better than I can do.
Definitely better than I can do.
I like that he stood in pressure and made a throw earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched like as much as everybody else has. I just saw his name come up. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to head out here soon, but
okay. Well, yeah, we've been on here for an hour. I think we can call it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining me. There's a sneak preview into my desktop there, and yeah, we hope this was illuminating. We hope you can kind of see where FSU's at, where kind of they stand in this transfer portal, and kind of all the different options at quarterback. There's can be more that pop up. There's gonna be some more action. I kind of hope that FSU doesn't jump the gun and try to get someone too fast. I think they've been hurt in the past doing that before. But this is kind of where they're at and what you're looking at. So yeah, Yeah. Any closing thoughts, AB?
No, Clandria. It sounds like Clandria and Lagway will be on campus tomorrow. So if you are a member of Noles 24/7, make sure you are on there paying attention. They've got a lot of guys that are on campus already. They picked up a commitment from, I think it was Nehemiah. I hope I'm not butchering his name. Chandler. I believe he was a South Alabama cornerback. It seems like there's a lot of action. I'm going to wait to judge it all. We will be breaking down every player that they get out of the portal, though. So look for those videos as the days and weeks go along here. We appreciate everybody jumping in here. 4,400 people. Thank you for jumping in with just Kevin and I. I know it's not quite as fun and entertaining when Trey is not with us, but shout out to our boy Trey. We will be back this week with some more portal talk. So I'll say Trey's famous catchphrase, keep chopping.